Today, we're at one of the busiest stations in the world, Shinjuku Station. So this place serves an average of 3.5 million people every day, as there's a really insane amount of train lines that converge here. Hi everyone, it's Abby from Pictor, and today I am here to make sure you do not have to go Shinjuku Station alone. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by going around the station so we can contextualize it, we can understand what the Shinjuku area is like, and then we're going to go inside, explore, understand, and of course see all that there is to enjoy in this area. So we're going to get started here on this side. I'm on the east exit side, so behind me is kind of like the face of the building. So this is the side that you will probably be exploring the most if you come to Shinjuku Station. And this side of Shinjuku is centered around Kabukicho, which is packed with many large commercial facilities, tons of restaurants, bars. The image that most people have of the city that never sleeps is probably mostly shaped by this area. And first, let's start here from this east gate, and we're gonna head kind of around Kabukicho. We're gonna head back around to the west side of the gate, and then we'll come back over here. And I wanna make sure that we totally understand what's going on here in the first place. So we're gonna start by turning this way and heading into Kabukicho. So let's go this way. So when you emerge out into Kabukicho, you'll probably come from this side. So we just passed a bunch of shopping inside the station. But once you turn around this corner and you come out, you'll really get to see the city itself. So if you come here at night, there's going to be a metric ton of people standing around just like having a good time. So if you come here and you head down this street behind me, like at this main crosswalk, that's where you'll really start to head into all the shops and restaurants. So we're gonna head that way. You also have this cat up on the corner that this is weird. So once you reach the main road out here, this is where all the shopping really begins. So you can already see like back behind me there's a Don Quixote. We have a million like thrift brand luxury stores. You have so much food, especially things like monjayaki, which is really famous in this area for being kind of like okonomiyaki, but a little more liquidy. And then things like wagyu, yakiniku, all sorts of things. So literally just this close to Shinjuku Station, the action very quickly starts. So I'm going to keep crossing the street into Kabukicho. My shoes are wet. This area is a vibe at night. It looks very different at night than it does during the day. And now in front of me, if you look up, you can already see something very exciting for some people. See if you can see him up there. Do you see him? It's the Godzilla head. All right, so now you're out late at night, you've been drinking, you're feeling something like this, the world is spinning, there's Maddie. You see her and you're drunk, you're in trouble. But you're having a good time and you try to go back to the station, you're lost, what's going on? It's easy to make a mistake and perhaps come over here to Seibu Shinjuku Station, which you would think is part of Shinjuku Station. But fun fact, it's not. And you'll be at a completely different place. So just make sure that when you go to the station, it is something that says Shinjuku Station and not Seibu Shinjuku Station. All right, let's go to the other side. All right, once you get to the west side, also don't worry about what I look like today. It's raining and cold. Once you get to the west side, things start looking a lot more corporate. You have a lot of like really tall skyscrapers, and that's because this side is the more peaceful area of Shinjuku. So whereas on the other side you have Kabukicho and you have fun and you have restaurants and you have bars, on this side you have things such as the Tokyo Metropolitan Building, which is where you can go to get a free view of the city. So some people say that they don't want to pay to go to the top of like Tokyo Tower or Shibuya Sky or any of the other towers here because it's a waste of money. And maybe for some people it is a waste of money, and that's fine. So if you want to still see the pretty view, you can go to the top of this building for free, as long as you check the hours of the building. And on the way over there, you'll also see things such as Omoide Yokocho. So back over in Kabukicho, you have Golden Gai. Golden Gai is quite close, right over here on the map. And right here, directly on the west side, you have Omoide Yokocho, which is a bit of a smaller alley where you can also do some drinking. So if you continue south from the west exit, you will end up at Busta Shinjuku, which in English is written as basically the expressway bus area. So this is another area in Shinjuku Station which connects Tokyo to the rest of the world, because you can find so many buses here that will take you across Japan. Right next to it and behind me is the Koshu Kaido, which is a major road separating the south exit from the new south exit. So even though where I'm looking right now says Shinjuku Station and back behind me says Shinjuku Station, two different exits. But the Koshu Kaido, this big road behind me, actually was here before Shinjuku Station was here itself, and it goes back to the Edo period, and it was a major highway that connected Edo to Kofu. So basically the station kind of developed on the road, and as the road grew and the station grew, it kind of has become this big, confusing area where you now have a major station completely separated in half by highway. So basically this is not a very neatly planned out area, and both sides of the road are Shinjuku Station. This sort of weird development process is also part of why people commonly refer to Shinjuku Station as a labyrinth. So the south exit will take you out to the north side of the road, whereas the new south exit will take you to the bus terminal side. But basically you're in the same area right here, it's just across the street from each other. So from here we're going to hop back over to the east side, and then I'm going to show you the easiest way to get back and forth between the two areas before we head in and actually see the inside of the station itself. So let's jump over there. Alright, so we are back on the east side. This is pretty much where we started off this whole thing. Where you can see behind me is kind of the street that will lead you over to Kabukicho. So, now, what if you want to quickly navigate to the other side without having to go through the gates? Meaning you don't have to scan your IC card or anything like that. The quickest way to do that is what I'm going to show you first. So, follow me. Alright, so the first thing you might want to know when you come in here is that the JR East Travel Service Center, is right here. So they can help you if you need help with stuff. But what you can do is go down these stairs right here and come to this underground area. And basically this underground area will take you to anywhere you could possibly want to go. This is the easiest place to navigate. So for example, if you're going to the west side, maybe you want to go to the Metropolitan Government Building. Not only is that kindly written on the sign up here, but you can also see it says West Concourse. So basically for any navigating that you need to do, I recommend coming down into this right below street level area where you can just run around, be free, and not be worried about what's going on up there. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go through the gates back over here, and we're gonna see what it's like inside the gate area. So I'm gonna go in from here, but of course all entrances lead to the same general area for the most part. So let's go through. So obviously you'll get in here and there's a lot going on in terms of options, right? So let's talk about what each of the platforms are and where they'll take you. So we're up on platforms 1 and 2, and one thing to know about this place is that when you're on the platform itself, or the train arrives, you're on the first floor. So when you go back down to where we were, that was the basement first floor. Woo! So platforms 1 through 4 are used by the Saikyo line and the Shonan Shinjuku line. So those lines will take you south through Shibuya and sometimes all the way to Yokohama, or north up to Ikebukuro or Omiya. So if you're heading to Yokohama or you're staying on the Saitama side of things, you'll probably want to check these platforms out first. All right, next. Is this enough platforms for you guys? All right, next up is 5 and 6, which is quite important because it has the Narita Express. So if you are headed to Narita Airport, that is your rapid express to get there. Next, platforms 7 and 8 are the Chuo line rapid trains. These will take you towards central Tokyo. Platforms 11 and 12 are the Chuo line rapid toward Takao. Platform 14 is the Yamanote line inner loop. So the Yamanote line is a loop, as you might understand by the name, and the inner loop, this will take you from here towards Shibuya and Shinagawa. But if you go to platform 15, that is the outer loop, it will take you towards Ikebukuro and Ueno. You can also actually access 2 other important places from inside the gate area here, and that would be the Oda-Q line, which is very important if you want to go to Hakone. Watch my Hakone video. And the Keio line, which will take you towards Mount Takao. So if you're here to do some nature viewing, mountain climbing, that would be your best bet. So the last thing I'll talk about inside of this area here is perhaps the most confusing, and that would just be where to go once you get off the train. So let's go up to one of the platforms. I'm going to use one of the Yamanote line platforms as an example to show you, depending on where you want to go, how to get there. All right, so you get off the train here, you're on the platform. You can go down, but you can also go this way and you can go up. What do you do? Well, if you want to go down to that basement area I was at, especially if you want to go out the east gate or the west gate, you will want to go down. So especially if you're going to Kabukicho, you're going to want to go down. So if you go up here, it will take you to the south gate. And actually, if instead of going up, you go even further down here to the very end of the platform, that will take you to the new south gate. So you have to walk all the way down here for that. But for most people, what you're going to want to do is go down. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Let's go back to the middle. Central West Gate that way, Central East Gate this way. So when you come out to the Yamanote line area down here in the confusing labyrinth, you're scared. This is the Central West Gate. It's kind of not super clearly marked, but you're just going to go the opposite direction away from the Central West Gate this way towards the east. So it's this long passageway. You'll walk down where you'll see all the other numbers, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. That's the way you want to go for the east exit. And if you feel like I'm over-explaining this in terms of, like, you need to walk straight down this passageway and there's numbers, I struggle to hear, okay? So this is genuine advice based off of my struggles. Please just do it, okay? It's more complicated than it might seem when you're watching this video. So to go to the East Gate, the further you get down number-wise, 3, 2, 1, finally you'll arrive at the East Gate. And at that point, you would go out into this area and see all that there is to see. Odakyu line is here if you need to go to Hakone. Otherwise, when you come up to this south gate, you are literally put out onto the road. So first over on this side predominantly you have a few different Lumine buildings. So on the other side you had Lumine EST, which has a lot of especially food. Over here you have Lumine 1, which is mainly like fashion, cosmetics, and a lot of strong restaurant options that are more geared towards people in their 20s and 30s. And then you also have Lumine 2, which is for the kind of similar age range but more focused on like lifestyle goods. So Shinjuku Station did not start out like this. A road existed, and then a town grew, and then people came and they started building this really exciting and fun station, which is now a labyrinth that hopefully you have a better idea of how to enjoy and how to navigate. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this video, what you want to do around Shinjuku. Make sure to like and consider subscribing, it really helps us out, and I'll see you in the next video.